Hello everybody, my name is Amgad. I'm a chemist. I'm so happy being here with you. Welcome to my new channel, Chemistry Corner. We all love chemistry because it has the keys of our life. Everything you have ever seen related to chemistry. But now I'm hearing you are saying I love chemistry, but it doesn't. Please keep out of these words that won't help you in future. So keep watching, stay tuned, and let's start our topic. Today we have an interesting topic. We need to talk about it. In this video, I'm gonna talk about the atomic structure. What would you say about the atomic structure? Are you see atoms before? So let's start. If you have a substance and try to cut it into small parts, continue cutting, you will get a very small parts. They are called atoms. So I can say atoms are the extremely small particles that are the basic building blocks of ordinary matter. So you might be wondering of that, and you might ask me some questions like, what will be the structure of an atom? What are particles that present inside the atom? Are they have a charge or not? What about their mass? So as I said before, I'm here to help you. So let's start our discussion. The first question I need to ask, what about the journey of discovering the atom? Let's start with scientists. Scientists discovered three different types of particles. They are electrons, protons, neutrons. So in my mind, I always saying, if I have a particle, I must have a particular mass. So any particle you will have, it must has a particular mass. Let's start with electrons. In 1897, Thomson discovered the electrons by using a cathode ray tube experiment. He did a lot of experiments, but the most famous experiment he did, it was a cathode ray tube experiment. I'm remembering his nickname, it was the electron's father maybe, but now remembering my nickname, it was Migo Mix.
Say my name.
Migo Mix.
You're goddamn right.
So it doesn't matter what does it mean. Going back to Thomson, did a lot of experiments. So what about his experiment? He could determine the charge and the mass of the electron, and also he could get the ratio between the mass and the charge. So let's talk about the charge of an electron. Electrons are a negatively charged particles in terms of a charge. So now let's move to protons. In 1911, Rutherford discovered the nucleus, which contains a positively charged particles. They are called protons, and he could discover protons by using a gold foil and alpha particles. So what about neutrons? Neutrons have discovered by Chadwick in 1932. They are electrically neutral in terms of charge. Oh, we forget to talk about the charge of a proton. So protons are a positively charged particle. As a result of that, we have three different types of particles and also three different types of charge. We have an electron with a negative charge, and we have a proton with a positive charge, and we have a neutron with no charge. It's electrically neutral. So what will be the structure of an atom? Did you see a ball before? So the most part inside the atom is empty space. Keep that in mind. Once again, the most part inside the atom is empty space. But inside the atom, in the center, we have a nucleus. Nucleus contains protons and neutrons. As you mentioned before, protons are a positively charged particles and neutrons are electrically neutral. As a result of that, nucleus would has a positive charge. So what about electrons? Electrons are moving so fast around the nucleus inside the atom. But outside the nucleus, inside the atom, keep that in mind. They are moving so fast in orbits. And now you might remember me about energy levels. I know that they are K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, but I will talk about them later. So now we have an atom. Inside the atom, we have the center, the nucleus, which carries a positive charge, and outside the nucleus, but inside the atom, we have electrons. They are moving so fast around the nucleus. So let's talk about the mass of particles. Which particle of them has a great amount of mass? But what about the mass of a proton? The mass of a proton is 1.672 times 10 to the minus 24 grams. It's very, very small. But the mass of a neutron is 1.6742 times 10 to the minus 24 grams. So the mass of a neutron is slightly heavier than a proton. Keep that in mind. But they are very close to each other. So what about electrons? The mass of an electron is 9.11 times 10 to the minus 28 grams. So in terms of mass, you have proton with 1.672 times 10 to the minus 24 grams, and a neutron with mass 1.672 times 10 to the minus 24 grams, and an electron with a mass 9.11 times 10 to the minus 28 grams. So as you can see, the mass of an electron is too light relative to the mass of a proton and a neutron. Let's talk about the atomic number and the mass number of an atom. atom. If we are given an atom, it must has two different numbers. The first number is called the atomic number. It's based on number of protons and neutrons only. So what about electrons? As you mentioned before, electrons are very light relative to a proton and a neutron. As a result of that, the mass number is based on only number of protons and neutrons. So what about the atomic number? The atomic number is the number of protons and the electron. They are always equal because, as you mentioned before, atom must be a neutral. So you will get the same number of protons and electrons. If you need to determine the number of neutrons, the number of neutrons is basically the difference between the mass number and the atomic number. For example, if you have Na has atomic number 11 and mass number 23. If you need to get the number of neutrons, the only thing you need to do is 23 minus 11, you will get 12. Thank you for watching. See you later. Bye.